Hey eBay friends, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and in this video I wanted to cover some issues with the eBay mobile app that other sellers have been talking about, as well as solutions if you have issues with the app or if you're just not clear on exactly what it can and cannot do. So let me go over the disclaimer first. The eBay app was never intended to run your business 100% on the go. It was created to enhance your ability to check in on your business when you could not get to a computer is not available. This video contains facts about the eBay app as well as my opinions about how sellers may be trying to use it for things it was not really intended for. For years, I have seen sellers attempting to use the app as a replacement for a computer or trying to run their business 100% from the app, which it was never intended to do. While some of the issues mentioned in this video are truly technology issues, other issues are related to unrealistic expectations of the app. And I am a firm believer that you cannot run this business from a phone. You need to be on a computer or at least an iPad. And I'm sure that there'll be a backlash from that statement, but that's just my feeling based on what the app can and cannot do, and the correct way to run a business from my perspective is that you cannot run this business 100% from a phone. So just consider this analogy. Bicycles and cars are both forms of transportation, but they're two different things. So when you pick one, what are you going to do? And your strategy is going to be different if you're a cyclist riding along a busy highway, or if you're in a car. Two different things. In this case, the app is a bicycle and the car is the full eBay site. So again, the eBay mobile app was never meant to replace a computer. And when you are asking the app to do things it can't, it's like asking a bicycle to do things that a car can do. So they're two different things. So you've got to consider what the app was designed to do and what you're wanting it to do. And was it designed for that? And sometimes the answer is no. So just as a bicycle is an inferior mode of transportation when we're talking about a highway compared to a car, the eBay app is inferior when compared to a computer. So I posted this question on my Facebook group of 30,000 sellers. This is the question. Well, this was the post. I am working on a video for YouTube about the pain points when using the eBay mobile app. Can you please share issues you have experienced when using the app as far as glitches, operations it won't do, and its inferiority to listing on a computer? Keep in mind the app was not designed to replace a computer. It was designed to enhance your business, not run it. This is not a bashing of the app, but an attempt to educate sellers who may not be using it correctly or have unrealistic expectations of operations the app can perform. Okay, and I left that open, and the post received 194 comments. So not all of them are going to be in this video, but I have organized the most common responses into categories, as well as offering some suggestions for solutions for these problems. So if you are one of those people that uses the app a lot, this video is for you, and trust me, it's been a long time coming because we get so many questions about the app every single day on the Facebook group, and it's just sometimes you guys are just trying to make it do things it's not going to do. If you have specific questions about technology of the app, it is best to direct them to the eBay for Business Facebook page because they work closely with the eBay mobile team. And I did reach out to eBay for Business and ask them, where should sellers go when they have these questions? Do not call customer service, the 1-800 number, because they are not trained to help you with the app. They are trained to help you with issues on your account, such as buyer issues, or if you're a new seller and you don't understand the rules, or fees, whatever. You want to go to the eBay for Business Facebook page and put your questions about the app there. A couple of reasons. First is you're going to the source to get the answer, because when you put your questions about technology on a Facebook group, people don't back up their answers with facts. They just say what they think the answer is or what's true for them. So what's true for them may not be true for you based on the device you're using, the version of the app. If you've got an older version, a lot of different things. So please, from now on, go to eBay for Business Facebook group and put your questions about the app there. Don't post them in any Facebook group, because you may not get a correct answer. The information may not be accurate. The person may have the best intentions of helping you, but their information may not be accurate. So go directly to the source for that. Also, keep in mind that these issues I'm going to be talking about in this video may be related to the type of device a seller is using. For example, an iPhone versus an Android. The version of the app, if it's out of date or updated, if they have done the most recent update, which a lot of people don't do them. They get those pop-ups on their phone and it'll say new version available, and they just don't download it. And so you're missing out if you're not using the most recent version of the app, because it might be doing things that the older versions can't do. So let's get into this. The first category is going to be listing issues. Number 1, good till canceled as the only choice for listing duration. Peggy says, when listing on the app, you have to list everything good till canceled. It is frustrating that eBay does not let me pick how I want to list my buy it now listings, forcing me to use good till canceled. And then we had several people concur with that. Leanne says the worst part is since the new update, it automatically lists as good till canceled and adds best offer to everything. Yesenia said that I create a listing and nowhere is it to select a 30-day listing. It automatically lists good till canceled. And we've got more people talking about that. Stephanie said the only ability to relist a buy it now is good till canceled. So not only starting a listing from scratch, but relisting, or one that's sold already. And then Tiffany, is confirming the same thing happens with her. So Liza says, I agree with that. It's maddening that the app defaults to good till canceled. On the other hand, we have other people saying that 30 days is the only choice for a listing duration. So we've got conflicting information there, which leads me to believe some people might be using an older version of the app, a newer version, or maybe we've got iPhone users versus Android users. I don't know. That was not figured out. But Marcia was saying mine defaults to 30 days and I have to manually change it. I thought that was annoying. Good till canceled would be awful. And then Karen says mine goes to 30 days on the mobile app now. I never do 30 day. I do sell similar off a good till canceled listing. And this is where Peggy reminds everybody that sounds like your app has not been updated with the changes that eBay made. Don't update it, you won't like it. Okay. So they're having this discussion about, yes, I did update it and it's still having these problems. So here we've got users having a, conflicting information here. Some can only list good till canceled, some can only list 30 days. So that's definitely a problem when we've got these different results. So again, it may be a function of the device you're using or the version of the app. Okay, the next problem, number 3, is automatic relist gets checked and it cannot be undone. Several people posted this. Valerie said it first. I have an iPhone and if I relist a listing on the app, the box for automatic relist gets checked, but there isn't an area to edit in the phone. So I no longer relist from my phone, only my computer. Okay, good solution. Number 4, cannot check sales tax box or it does not appear at all. This was mentioned several times. Beth said, I can't check the charge tax box, and Karen said, I don't even have that option. So again, conflicting information. It won't let you check one of the options on there, that's definitely a glitch, because if there's an option, you should be able to check it or uncheck it, or not even having the option appear at all. Number 5, no option for more info when listing a pre-owned item. The condition description box. Catherine said, if you have a pre-owned item, you cannot enter a condition description. At least on an iPhone, you can't. They're talking about, when you're on the sell your item form and it's pre-owned, and you can put a little note in there like second button is missing, or good pre-owned condition, or good vintage condition, or a book that shows minor shelf wear, whatever it is. There's no spot to do that specifically on an iPhone if you've got a pre-owned item. So that's an issue. Number 6, no option for first class shipping when listing from the app. Melanie said, first class is not an option on most of the time for shipping, even when I put in the value for the weight, and that is on the iPhone app. Pamela says, I have the same problem. You just have to refresh a few times and wait for it to come up as an option after you change the weight. Okay, so that's not really efficient, where you can't enter the weight the first time you're trying to do the listing. You have to keep refreshing it for the option to magically appear. So that is not efficient, and that is a time waster. So not great there. Number 7, app does not remember or store preferences. It isn't intuitive. Now, Apple users, if you have a Mac, if you have an iPhone, you understand what that intuitive means. After you do something a certain number of times, your Apple device figures out what you like, what you want, how you do things, and it will remember that for you. You don't have to tell it every single time you open up a Word document on your computer what font you like. It just knows. It starts putting that in. So if you're not an Apple user, you might want to become one, because that is a great feature on any Apple device, is that it is intuitive. And that was one of Steve Jobs' dreams for the world, is to create this device that is an extension of yourself and learns what you like. And it makes your life so much easier and makes things faster. So this app is not that way. Megan said, at first, it's a small thing, but I wish it would remember your preferences and keep them. I'm constantly switching the auction default to fixed price, having to toggle on best offer. The old app kept those preferences, making the listing process much quicker. And it's the same thing for when you're doing research, and that's going to come up later, but I'll say it now anyway. Like when you're researching, you always want to look at sold items, used condition, in the United States, sorted by highest to lowest. Those are my preferences. Every single time I look something up to research it, I have to hit all those things. I have to choose all of those. I wish there was a way where it would just be intuitive and know and remember, when I'm researching, I want to look at used condition in the United States, sold listings, sorted from highest to lowest. Doesn't do that. It doesn't remember your preferences. Okay, selling issues. Number 8 of the 20 we're going to be talking about. Cannot send invoices from the app. This one does drive me a little crazy, because you get that sale, you accept that offer, and you cannot invoice them immediately. And we all know we want to invoice them immediately, because you've got to strike while the iron's hot and get that invoice out so they'll pay it quicker. Vicky said, at first, I can't send an invoice from my iPhone. Kim Smith says, you can do this on your iPhone if you log into Safari. Okay, right. Yeah, but who wants to do that? That's going to take extra time. We shouldn't have to go and log into Safari and do these things that are common everyday tasks when running this business. My feeling, I'm getting passionate here, if you're able to accept offers and get sales through that through that eBay app, the companion task is going to be to send that invoice. And so Vicky said, yeah, I do it from my laptop. We shouldn't have to go out onto Safari, which is the internet for an iPhone, and pull up the eBay site and log in and send an invoice. No. Sending an invoice is a crucial step when you get a sale. So if that app can do best offer and accepting invoices and notifying you of sales and notifying you of when a payment has been made, we need to be able to send an invoice. So I hope eBay will watch this and fix that, because I can speak from experience that the faster you can send an invoice to someone, the faster you're going to get paid. If you have to wait 4 hours until you get home to get on your computer and send an invoice, you may not get paid as fast or at all. So that's one of those things that's really a roadblock. Okay, number 9, cannot view custom label field on the app. Michelle said, when receiving an offer, you can't see the custom label line, which is where my cost is. I have to go to Google and pull it up on a website to see it, and then go back to the phone and respond. And then Amy, my great moderator Amy, said on the app you go to your active listings, search for the item you have an offer on, click on it, the custom label field is shown. But Michelle said she is not seeing that. So it may be the type of phone she has or the version of the eBay app. We don't know. But she's showing here on her what she's seeing on her phone with the screenshot, and there is no custom label field on here. It's modified item, neckline, length, color, theme, garment care, graphics, category, item number, item description. So I know a lot of people rely on that custom label field. Kimberly explained it doesn't have the custom label field. This is how I keep track of inventory. I also find when going between my phone and laptop, it creates duplicates of my drafts. So I know sellers use that custom label field for all kinds of things to track their business, and price is a big one, because you want to know what you paid for something so that you can evaluate that offer and make sure that you're going to get enough profit if you accept it. So, that's not a great thing that we can't see that on the app. Okay, I'm calling this section Special Feature Issues. So the number 10 item is business policies do not appear on the app. Nathan said business policies are not in effect for items that I list from iPhone. Must go to computer to finish. And several people put that. So, if you're using those business policies, it's not working on the app. Okay, research issues. Item number 11, when researching completed, you can't lock in your choices. I just explained this as far as being able to save your preferences or your phone, the app being intuitive. Anne said, when researching completed, you have to choose your options for each and every search. I wish it would hold that information between searches. And then Nicola is explaining that on Android you can lock it in. So if you have an Android and you want to know how to do that, just pause the video right here and you can read this little discussion about how they're explaining how you can save those preferences on your Android phone. Okay, photo issues was another big one. Number 12, photos taken on the app are lost. Kelly said, when I take pictures in the app will close and I lose all my pictures of that item. This happens in about 1 out of 10 listings. So that's one of those glitchy technology things. And then Nathan agreed with her, and this also came up several more times during that thread. Number 13, cannot edit photos on the app. Kathy said using the app on the using the app on the phone is super handy for adding photos to a new listing, but editing photos is so limited. I can't adjust lighting or contrast. I have to go back to the computer to tweak the photos. Sue explained, yes, you can edit pictures. Click on a picture in the app and the tool icons are at the bottom of the picture. And then Kathy said, on eBay Android app, it only gives me rotate and crop for editing tools. And for some reason, my photos always appear less bright on eBay. And then Sue says, on iPhone, you can change the brightness. So then Elizabeth said, on the new update, you can't change the photo anymore. So it looks like on the most recent update, today's date is December 21st, 2018. Whatever update was before now, the most recent, the photo capabilities have been lessened with the newer update. You're losing some capabilities there. And then Rebecca said, I wish the app had the same photo editing features as the desktop, light, brightness, sharpness. I've also not found a way to search within my own active listings on the app. That's a different issue. So photo issues, yes. Number 14, can't save or access photos taken on the app. Yes, Gwen says, I'll share. I don't use the app. Main reason is I like to take my pictures and keep them. If I take them in the app, I can't retrieve or reuse them. And Stephanie agreed. And then Gwen said, I just upload mine to the computer and list from the computer. So if you're one of those people that likes to save your pictures because you may come across that same item again, if you take it in the app, it does not save the pictures. Now, but what you could do is go onto the computer, and if you've got, once the listing is up, you could just pull them from the listing and save them to your computer if you wanted to. Personally, I don't save mine. As soon as the item's listed, I get rid of the pictures because you've got the pictures on the listing, and if the item gets returned, you just pull up the listing and relist it. So because I sell mostly one-of items, I don't have that situation where I need to keep this gigantic catalog of pictures. I don't like a lot of cluttery files on my computer, so I don't worry about that. But anyway, bottom line is that if you're taking your pictures within the app, they can't be retrieved from the app. You would have to go into the listing from the computer. Okay, now we've got shipping and label issues. And I guess these are kind of like, are you wanting to do the app more than it was really designed for? Because, in my world, when I do my shipping, I sit down at my desk, I've got all my shipping supplies there, my labels, and I'm on my computer, I've got my scale, so I'm reweighing everything. It's like a shipping station. So I don't know how other people are doing it if they're just like walking around with their phone trying to send shipping labels to their wireless printer. Why would you not be doing that from a computer is my question. So anyway, we're going to go over these. Number 15, can't print international labels. Mariemma says, I can't print labels for international sales on the app. Max said the same thing, and he goes through this issue he's got where his printer won't recognize his phone. Really, the best way to do your shipping is to have a shipping station. It just prevents errors. You've got all your materials right there. And I guess it's just because I've been doing it that way forever. Number 16, can't print the label if combining shipping. So that's pretty self-explanatory. If I sell two items to the same buyer, I can't combine shipping on the app. Again, I don't understand why people aren't doing this from a computer in the first place. So, number 17, can't print a packing slip from your phone. Kathy says, super annoying that you can't print a packing slip from the app. And Kim again says, just go to keep Seller Hub open on Safari and just print it from there. Okay, and then we've got some miscellaneous issues. Number 18, when leaving feedback, it sometimes populates with your last comment, which is not always what you want to say. That might be an iPhone issue where it's trying to be intuitive and pull up the last thing you said. Not sure about that. Amber says the app automatically adds accept best offer with auto decline rate added. I really dislike that because when I make the listing on the computer, then go to upload the photos in the app, in my phone, it automatically turns all these things on that weren't in my original listing. So that is an issue of working on multiple devices. And I can tell you, like other applications, not just eBay, but like Dropbox, if you are, or Google Drive type stuff, if you're accessing things from multiple devices, it's going to screw things up. So you want to try to use your phone for certain things, and you want to try to use your computer for certain things, because it's a lot of these problems are caused by the back and forth of devices that you're using. And that's just the way it is, because the app is not a website, it's an app. It's different than a website as far as technology. They're built different ways, just like a bicycle is built different from a car. They're not supposed to do the same things. And when you're trying to access your listings and things from two different devices back and forth, it messes things up. Okay, so number 20 is Mary says, when I want to tweak the description from my phone, I get this message, which means it's no longer mobile friendly. So yes, there's a lot of issues about the mobile friendly. Just because you're listing from your phone does not mean it's making it mobile friendly. That's something you have to check from the computer. And there's tons of videos out there about how to deal with this mobile friendly issue. But people seem to think because you're listing or editing from a mobile device, it's going to make the listing mobile friendly, and that's not how it works. So that is an issue. Now, let's go over a couple of some seller thoughts about the app, which is neither here or there. I'm just putting this out there for you. Jackie says, eBay needs to streamline the listing process. It's so clunky compared to other apps, like on a Poshmark listing, I can list from start to finish in under a few minutes' time. eBay, I start the draft on the app, go to the website and add all the specs not included in the app, the SKU number, mobile friendly, the tax box, promotions, auto accept amount, then save and go back to mobile to add shipping weights and dimensions and then finish. Okay, I don't even understand what you're doing here, Jackie. Why are you doing all this back and forth? If you have to go onto the website to do all this stuff and you're doing that, why not just do the whole listing from the website? It doesn't make sense to me that you're trying to go back and forth and then tell eBay that they need to streamline the process. It's the operator here. It's you. So I don't mean to call you out on this, but I've seen so many people say the same thing, and I'm like, what are you even doing? Just focus on one thing and just do your listing from one device. Jackie, if you're watching, let's have a discussion about this because I don't understand what you're doing. Okay, Andy says, in today's world, the app should work for everything we do on eBay. It is unacceptable, in my opinion, for this app to not be fully functional. Most people now use their phones for everything, and they need to make it completely functional. Many people are listing from storage facilities and on the go and cannot take their desktop computer with them everywhere they go. In my opinion, this is one reason Amazon is on top. Okay, Andy, that is true. eBay has evolved over the years, but nobody's forcing you to do listings from a storage unit. How about take the stuff home, clean it up, take pictures of it, and then list it? Why does eBay need to accommodate the fact that some people want to do this from a storage facility? That's, yeah, maybe that's the world we live in, but when you're looking at this as a business, there needs to be some organization and some accountability on the seller's side. And eBay can't accommodate every single type of seller out there. What they're looking at is, what do the most people do? How is this going to benefit most people? So I don't want to, throw the hammer down on eBay and say, this is completely unacceptable. Yeah, there's some glitches and there's some inconveniences and there's some things that we can't do. But again, an app is not a website. The technology is completely different. The coding is completely different. And all apps have glitches. So I think this is kind of a harsh comment about what eBay should do. But what they're looking at is, what can we do that's going to help the greatest number of people? Now, me personally, what do I use the app for? 4 things. Number 1, research when I'm out buying inventory to look at completed listings. That's the main thing. Responding to offers. I always do that as soon as I get them, because you want to be responsive. Answering questions, even if just to say, I'm away from my computer and I will get back to you shortly. So, just acknowledging their question and telling them, hey, I'm away from my inventory. I can't answer that right now. I need to check on that when I get back to my office. I'll let you know. But, you have the ability to communicate with your buyer or potential buyer and tell them, hey, I got your question. They just want to be acknowledged. So just acknowledge them. So I guess that's just 3 things: research, responding to offer, and answering questions. Now, some solutions to these problems and the whole glitchy app situation or the limited app situation. Number 1, make sure you have the most updated version. We saw some people talking about how the most updated version, it was not optimal. It was not as good as the one before. But you really need to work with the most updated version, no matter what it is, whether it's an iPhone update or whatever. Technology, it's going to constantly evolve. So maybe the next version will be better and it'll come out really soon. You don't know. Number 2, uninstall the app and reinstall it. Several people said that. So it just may be something glitchy on your device. And if you take the app off and then put it back on, it may fix a lot of these problems. Number 3, and this is my big one, is pick one device to list from. Don't flip-flop between devices. I see this so many times with people who will start drafts on their phone and then they'll switch over to the computer to finish it, and some of the information is lost or the entire draft is lost. Try just to work from one device when you're creating your listings. I know people that go on their apps and tweak their listings thinking that's going to help their SEO, which that's a completely different discussion. But in doing that, it alters the listing, or it checks things that weren't checked, or it deletes things. And so you're just kind of getting in your own way when you are messing around with these listings between different devices. And that's just a known issue with apps, is if you're accessing the same information from multiple devices, it's going to mess things up. So don't do that. Now I know some of you will say, well, that's how I get my stuff done, is, I'm sitting at the baseball field and I can work on my phone, and we'll figure out a different way to do it. Maybe put your listings on your notepad and then copy and paste it over when you get home, or something like that, where you're still accomplishing things and being productive in that time where you're stuck somewhere and you're not at a computer. But I'm just putting this out there to educate you that this could be the cause of some of these problems, is that you're going back and forth between these devices, and that's what's causing some of these options to get checked or get unchecked, or things that you can't undo. That's when it's happening. Number 4, understand that apps in general are glitchy. That's just the nature of what they are. Apps are not a website. They're two different things. The technology is completely different. So you have to be aware of that. And then number 5, understand that the app is limited. It is not the full site and was never intended to be and will never be the full site. So it's always going to be limited compared to doing a listing on the computer just because of the nature of what it is. So just accept that and realize, you know what, this is, McDonald's is not Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Okay? Yeah, they're both restaurants, but one is much more limited than the other one. So take it for what it is. Okay, well, I want to thank you for watching and getting through this with me because there's just a lot of questions about the app, and I tried to tackle this kind of tough subject here. So I'd love to know if you thought this was helpful, and please put your comments below, and good luck with the app. Have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.